به نام خدا سلام
In the
عرض
name
می‌کنم
of God.
شنوندگان عزیز.
Hello, dear viewers and ladies and gentlemen. We're starting a new series that will be ongoing in the Love Practice playlist, and as the name suggests, it's all about love. Unfortunately, this is something missing in some families, even though everyone wants to live a loving life. Love doesn't care about gender. Naturally, when a couple commits to each other, they promise to stand by their life together. They want their life to be bright, full of love, and feel really good. Sure, but unfortunately, when people start living together, events, incidents, interventions, and some issues, maybe because of lack of awareness or immaturity, happen. And naturally, when someone begins a new life with a spouse, since they might not have prior experience, mistakes can happen. The result of these mistakes is often the loss of love. Love is a great gift from God, and if we don't recognize it in our lives or don't practice the rules of loving properly, it's natural that we end up with negative outcomes. Our lives become cold, and a lot of times couples end up resenting each other so much that people who were once deeply in love and crazy about each other reach a point where they just break up and their life falls apart. Sometimes even having kids doesn't stop that separation from affecting them, because being a parent doesn't just go away after a divorce. It's always there, and the damage and pain caused can be irreparable. So if you're interested in this series of educational talks, please make sure to follow every episode as it's released. And the continuity of this course depends on that, naturally. I'd love to see your response. If there's no interest in this topic, naturally we might lose some motivation and save our time for discussions that you, our dear viewers, might find more appealing and enjoyable. When we talk about love, in the very first episode of this series, I want to focus your attention on the mindset of love, something we often overlook. The truth is, when you're in love, you have to understand that the time you actually spend together is limited. That's an undeniable fact we all face in life. Right now, as we're talking, there are billions of people out there just like us. So love isn't something permanent. It's not like you fall in love with someone and there's a guarantee that this love will always be there, always running through your life. Let me share a story with you. It's an interesting one about a Hindu monk who used to tell it to his students. One day, this Hindu teacher, a monk following Hinduism, asked his students why two people, when they get angry, end up yelling at each other. Even when they're close to each other, they stand face to face and yell. They waited for his students to respond. Everyone gave their own take on the story. Someone said, well, maybe they're just upset with each other, so they're yelling. Another said, maybe they lose control and that's why they shout. Everyone had an opinion. Then the master, who was really deep, gave an answer that was quite interesting. I took it straight from the text of a book and will share it with you. Do you know what the Hindu monk master said? He said, when two people are angry and shouting at each other, they yell because their hearts are far apart. Notice, their hearts are far from each other. They stand face to face, but their hearts are distant. And since they want to connect their hearts through their inner nature, but their hearts are apart, they end up shouting. There's a kind of subtle feeling in this reaction. It might not be scientific, but from a deeper, more insightful perspective, it's really profound. Just think about two people in love who are about to start a life together. When they're close and talking, that distance in love disappears. Their passion is at its peak when they're deeply in love and enjoying every moment together. Notice how quietly they talk to each other, almost like they're whispering in each other's ears, because their hearts are so close. When hearts are close, the distance between ears doesn't really matter. The reason we see conflicts in families is because of this. A man and woman who were once in love, full of dreams, sat down at the wedding table to build their life together. But when you see that after 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years of living together, things start to calm down. The tone of their voice changes. Their way of showing love becomes dull and cold. A question starts forming in their minds. Why did it end up like this? The truth is, things happened during this time that even though they were physically together, created a kind of disturbance. Their hearts gradually drifted apart because of what happened. They ignored the consequences of their actions. Like the saying goes, you reap what you sow. Some things took place, events that changed how they spoke or acted, and that's actually what's going on. You get what you put out. That coldness, it's the consequence, the price you pay. Here, someone's being punished for making their spouse cry for any reason. No one who causes their spouse tears can honestly expect a loving marriage. Whether it's a man or a woman, if you hurt your spouse, you can't expect them to stick around happily. When someone pushes their partner to the point they have to cry alone, that's on them. I hear this a lot from men in counseling. They open up and say they break down and cry in private because of what's going on inside. The pressure from my spouse's behavior has hurt me so much that I cry. Or that woman who goes to sleep somewhere in peace, pulls the blanket over her head, and cries her heart out. This is the consequence of actions. These are the results of what happens after the marriage phase because of ignorance, lack of awareness, and wrong behaviors. Now the husband says things he shouldn't say, the wife doesn't say what she should, and these distances slowly push their hearts apart. When there's no love in life, it slowly heads down a path where it's no longer really life. This isn't life, it's just existing. They're only living to stay alive. There's no love. No heart beats for each other. Dear friends, we live in a world ruled by laws. We need to take the laws of nature seriously in our lives. What does nature's law say? It says, don't do bad, because in this fleeting world, you'll reap what you sow. Before you got married, you used to be so sweet to each other. You'd talk on the phone for 5 hours, and when you wanted to break up, you still didn't want to separate. Then you say, we've been talking for 5 hours, but it feels like it's been less than half an hour. You still don't want to be apart from them. But when these same people end up in the same group, you see they can't even stand being around each other for 2 minutes without talking. Something happened. From that time until now, from those crazy passionate feelings to the disappointment they feel now, something bad happened. In this field where love fades so quickly, love only means what you put into it. What you sow, you reap. Now you're sowing coldness, you've sown badness, you're sowing coldness, saying hurtful things, you're just sowing coldness. If we don't pay attention to the laws of nature and existence, my dear friends, in every part of our lives, especially when it comes to family, especially how we act and interact with our spouse, we have to be ready for the consequences. Let me give you an example, and then we can continue this in our next sessions together. Imagine that each of us has 6 billion cells in our body, 6 million cells. Now, scientifically speaking, those of you familiar with biology, physiology, molecular structures, or genetics know what I mean. Experts and scientists in these fields explain it like this. Theoretically, each one of these cells, out of 6 billion, on its own can multiply, reproduce, and build a whole person. That means this power and ability exists inside each and every single cell. But here's the thing. What made all these 6 billion cells come together to form my and your body? That's my question. The parts that make up the body are cells, right? So what glued them together with such a strong bond? What made them become my hands, my head, my eyes, my body, my whole physical self? What's the deal here? What's the force behind this? There's nothing, really, besides love and desire. We live in a world where love and desire hold everything together. If you take that love out of the fabric of this world, that unity falls apart. The cells in our body stop sticking to each other. As long as that desire, that love is there, all our organs, all these cells live their normal lives. But when that desire goes, when that love disappears, one cell breaks away from the harmony, one cell that's not in sync with the billions of others, that cell becomes a cancerous cell. If even one cell gets sick, becomes a rebellious cell if love doesn't have that deep soulful connection between all parts of the body, it ends up destroying both itself and the body. It's like a cancerous cell that we sometimes don't even notice, quietly creating distance in the story of our lives. That's why hearts drift apart, and that's a huge pain we often overlook. The struggle people face today in their personal lives has led everyone lining up in court looking for legal advice just to protect their rights and make sure they don't get taken advantage of. Loving someone once, now grabbing them by the collar in court and saying, "I feel better because you wronged me," that's not love or desire. It's those bitter moments that happened from the day they loved each other to the day they drifted apart that caused it. Not taking care of that cancerous cell or tissue. The pain of love and desire is the pain of today's cold family lives. Friends, if it wasn't for that, just like any other healthy cell in a normal body, that family would have lived a healthy life. In married life, what is that sixth cell but bad behavior that people don't pay attention to, and it ends up ruining lives? That's exactly what me and my colleagues on this channel are trying to prevent from happening. We're here to help so that doesn't happen. To help the cells of your family's body work together in harmony right by each other, so that love and longing don't get destroyed. As long as that unity, that bond, that cohesion exists between the cells of your family's body, your family's health is secure. Unfortunately, here, in this vast world, sometimes we friends are like cells in a human body called humanity. And because of that, the rule, the law of love and longing must be, we don't really have control over it, we don't really understand it, and we don't truly value its power. Sometimes each one of us in society becomes that one cell that makes the whole body fall apart. Love and desire. When a husband and wife truly love each other, their life is stable. The moment love is gone, don't doubt that it's just a mirage of happiness, nothing more. Happiness loses its meaning. It's just an illusion. You hope for it, maybe even chase it, but you never really get it because you don't know the basic rules. You're not playing the game right. Couples who don't love each other in their lives end up stumbling through it, and it's unpleasant, and they feel regret. They had one chance to get married. They did. And then they realized they have 2 or 3 kids, but there's no love between them. Neither the wife loves the husband, nor the husband loves the wife. They're like cops just waiting for a crime to happen so they can jump in. They're just spying on each other. What kind of life is that? Couples who don't trust each other are only looking to catch the other person slipping. It's like that part of their relationship that should have grown and developed just isn't getting any attention. In this series, we dive into the realm of love and talk about the art of loving and how to do it. Living with love, even if life has gotten a bit cold, we still talk things through. If you or your husband are watching this right now and feeling tired, upset, or discouraged with life, or feel like your partner just isn't the one you hoped for, I seriously recommend you follow the Love Practice series on this channel. Let's go through it together. Please ask your wife to watch it too, and if you're a woman, get your husband to watch this video with you. We're discussing things here that, honestly, you probably won't find anywhere else. Completely different content. We try to look at things with wise insight and from a realistic perspective, not the fake, dreamy stuff that a lot of clickbait channels and people who say all these pretty spiritual things just to get followers and likes push out, without actually caring about solving real problems or helping people in their lives. That's not what we're about here. When we spend time together, it's because that time is valuable, and we shouldn't waste each other's time. So the topics we focus on are based on years of hands-on experience in family counseling and scientific research by our team. They're working on these topics and hopefully we'll try to include them in this program and follow up on them. If you're interested, please leave your comments about the discussion we just had and about future episodes. As I mentioned, the continuation of this series depends on your support, dear viewers. Otherwise, we don't want to spend time on something that isn't well received. If you're into this discussion, please make sure to like and share the channel link to anyone you think might need it. If you're a parent, then if you have kids or if you're a kid yourself, send this video and the channel link to your friends, your sister, your brother. This is the very first series about the homework of love. To stay connected, I recommend inviting those friends who mean a lot to you. I think it's going to be a different kind of discussion, bringing up realities that are part of people's lives today. Thanks so much for being with me. Wherever you are, I wish you happiness and blessings from God. Sincerely, Amir Mehrdad Khosravi.